In 1992, a school in rural Pennsylvania reportedly vanished overnight, and not a single news outlet covered it. What the hell happened to Bellwood Elementary? I'm the host. This is Local 58 News. Do you remember when you were little and you woke up one morning and your parents told you that they were moving to a new town? You didn't know anyone there, but you knew that you'd be attending a new school. The drive there was filled with boxes of your old toys, games and books. And when you arrived, you saw an entirely new playground, a brand new basketball court and a big sign out front that read, "Welcome to Bellwood Elementary." You walked inside and everything seemed normal. All of the kids were running around the hallways talking about all of their favorite things. There were posters on the walls that said inspirational quotes like, "Reach for the stars" and "Every day is a new adventure." And then one day after school, you looked at the map of the United States hanging in your classroom. You traced your finger down the East Coast and then followed the Ohio River to where it met the Allegheny River. And you noticed a small town called Bellwood, Pennsylvania. You asked your teacher if any of her students lived there and she replied, "Oh yeah, little Timmy lives right there. He says his grandpappy's got a farm just outside of town." And then you started thinking, how cool would it be if I lived on a farm? And now, let me ask you a question. Can you remember the name of your first grade teacher? Can you recall what your third grade report card looked like? Do you remember making fun of that kid in class whose name you can't even pronounce? Well, if you can't, that's okay because those memories have been lost to time. But do you remember the day you found out your school didn't exist? They say that everyone eventually forgets about you, but no one will ever forget about the students and teachers of Bellwood Elementary, the school that disappeared. It all started in 1992 when someone began digging through the school district's records. They were looking for information on a particular student, but every year that they checked went further and further back. Records that should have been there for decades were mysteriously gone. People began to panic, but no one could have predicted what happened next. It was December 1992. A heavy snow had just fallen over the town of Bellwood, Pennsylvania. The local janitor, Old Man Withers, was making his rounds after hours when he heard a strange noise coming from the basement. As he began to investigate, he came across a door that was slightly ajar. He slowly pushed it open and entered the room, and that's when he saw it. Sitting on a desk was a strange black notebook. He opened it and inside he found strange symbols, diagrams and what appeared to be some sort of code. But then he saw something else that made his blood run cold. Written in neat cursive letters was the date December 18, 1992, and below it was a message that read, "All records will be purged tonight. No living person will ever know of the existence of Bellwood Elementary." With his heart pounding, he quickly left the room and locked it behind him. As soon as he finished his shift, he raced home and locked himself in his basement. But when the sun came up and he dared to venture upstairs, he learned that whatever happened that night had also erased his house from existence. The street, his neighbors, and even his wife had vanished. He was now in an entirely new town. In fact, Bellwood, Pennsylvania didn't exist anymore. But before we go, I want to show you something. These are security cameras set up outside of Bellwood Elementary by the school board on the night of December 18, 1992. These cameras rolled and captured something unbelievable. Just as the clock struck midnight, the lights in the school flickered and went out, but there was no power button. And the night before, the janitor had locked the building up tighter than a drum. So whatever happened here that night must have been caused by whoever erased Bellwood from existence. And that leads us to our final clue. In 2012, a young man named Alex Higgins returned to his hometown. His mother had passed away, and he wanted to pay his respects at her grave. He also wanted to pay a visit to his old school, Bellwood Elementary, where he had fond memories growing up. But when he got there, he couldn't believe his eyes. The school wasn't just abandoned and never existed in the first place. He checked online and there was no record of it anywhere. It was like it was never there at all. So I'll ask you, was this a government cover-up? Or was something even more sinister lurking in the shadows?